First dialogue probably got cut off. So welcome to another episode of Up Joshi. Tonight is going to be special because I'm not going to do a review on TJPW like I normally do. This time it's going to be story time. What I'm going to talk about today, mild spoilers, I'm going to talk about Neko Haruna and how she becomes champion. Also, another thing I'm going to talk about is how the belt would actually work and the rules and things of that sort. It's not going to be boring. It's going to be like interesting. So stick around to the end if you can. If it's too long, I might have to break it up and do a part two. Also, this is live, so if I get interrupted, that means I'll have to start over or something, or take advantage of the YouTube account I created. So without no further ado, delay, here we go. Welcome to my Twitter Spaces. So TJPW belt idea. So I had this idea. I wanted to revive the DDT Iron Man Heavy Metalweight Championship in TJPW. What I've decided to do is not to steal DDT's Iron Man belt, but instead have TJPW create a new one for themselves so they can make their own version of the Iron Man belt. That way, TJPW can create their own rules and fans can enjoy it with an open mind. You don't want to have this expectation that it's going to be like DDT or WWE, right? Also, this belt serves multiple purposes. It's a lower card title, and it's an opportunity for idols to interact with wrestlers with a purpose. So TJPW has many guests throughout the show, such as Marika from SKE 48. Other than being on commentary, it's not really too much she could do, where she would never like be a wrestler per se. I mean, yes, she can be, but she's not, right? But you don't want to force her wrestling career into her, but you wanted to be able to have some kind of like interaction with the wrestlers and play games. So this belt can actually serve the purpose of that. I'm going to get into that a little bit more further. For starters, here's some ideas. We can introduce the belt with no 24/7 rule, but add it much later. I mean, like I said before, it does no good if everyone is scrambling for the belt and it's the exact copy of DDT or WWE, right? So we want people to watch TJPW with an open mind. Give us a fair chance to entertain them. The condition of the title matches is that it can be defended anytime, anywhere, as long as the participants have mutually agreed upon it. So this means that any wrestler or non-wrestler can challenge for the belt. Even in non-wrestling matches, like quizzes, games, junking, rock, paper, scissors, arm wrestling, races, karaoke, cooking contests, anything hyper missile can come up. The Iron Princess Heavy Metalweight Championship belt can be defended that way. And that's a hilarious name I came up with too. We might just call it Iron Man belt for the sake of Twitter Spaces, because I don't want to fumble over my words. All right, next, crowning the first champion. So, in order for a belt to be good, you got to have a good champion. So, in this storyline, I've mapped out a clever way that Neko Haruna could become the inaugural TJPW Iron Princess Heavy Metal Weight Champion by hilariously, actually, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's going to be hilarious. I'll just say this. She wasn't supposed to get the belt in the first place. That's how she wins it. All right, so TJPW will announce that Neko Haruna is not scheduled to have her match on tonight's show. So she'll be the one to introduce a new title. And there will be another special announcement. The special announcement is that the main event of the show will be a battle royale for the Iron Princess Heavy Metalweight Championship. In fact, in the middle of the card, or maybe the opening match, I would have maybe one or two wrestlers pay homage to Neko Haruna by doing one or two of her signature moves during the opening match. Let's say we have a tag team match. It's going to be Kamifuku Yuki, or Yuki Kamifuku. I always mix their names, like the order up. I know their names, but I say it like Japanese style. This is a Japanese name, no offense. But Yuki Kamifuku and Himawari. I can't remember her last name, sorry. But they defeat Wakana and Yuki Aino. Kamiyu pins Wakana with a Neko breaker, code breaker, which is Neko Haruna's move. At this point, TJPW is basically teasing the fans and playing mind games at this point. It's like they're just messing with them. It's like not only did they not put Neko on the show, Kamiyu uses her moves and beats the opponent with it on a match. How insulting. but it's kind of funny and kind of cool at the same time. It's also like you get mixed feelings. It's like, oh, how nice of her to do that for her friend, even though she's a dog lover. All right, fast forward later to the main event because I'm not going to fill out the entire card. We have a battle royale for the brand new Iron Princess Heavy Metalweight Championship. Now, the key point of this storyline is not who is in the match, but what's happening during the match. Since there's no video here, I'm just going to do some talking points so you can get the big picture. So, who we have included in this match, it could be less, could be more, but here's the main people. We have Mahiro Kiryu, Yuka Sakazaki, Pam Harajuku, Suzume, Mei Saruga, Kaya Toribama. I thought about putting Riho in here for some reason, just so we could have like a celebrity, like outside person who's famous. Wakana, Imawari, Raku, Yuki Arai, and Hyper Masao. Hyper Masao is going to be the most important person. I'm spoiling my own story, but there you go. All right, so the match is fast paced. The former IP champion Maki Ito is actually the first person to get eliminated by Mahiro Kiryu. And after that elimination, Maki Ito balls in tears. Mahiro Kiryu apologizes for her quick elimination. All right. And then the commentator also, they kind of try to soften it so it's not so sad and somber. The commentary says they're reminding us that Maki Ito has a big title match in about 2 weeks at Kurikan Hall, where she would team up with Miyu Mashita against the current champions, Free Wi-Fi. So it's really more of a funny moment, even though she's crying. It's actually just alligator tears. As soon as Kiryu is almost done with her apology, Yuka Sakazaki quickly puts Mahiro Kiryu in a sleeper hold. Maki Ito sees this as she's exiting the ring, so she goes up to Kiryu, and puts up a middle finger to her eye and lowers her skin and says, "Baka," which means stupid. So then Suzume grabs Yuka Sakazaki and puts her in a sleeper hold. The camera shows Maki Ito walking into the back while giving the middle finger as she walks up the ramp. The Japanese commentary says, "Dame, don't do that, Ito-chan." All right, Mei Saruga hasn't entered the match yet, but what we see right now, you have to picture this. We have Mahiro Kiryu basically kneeling down or sitting down. She's in the sleeper hold put on by Yuka Sakazaki. And then we also have Suzume, who has Yuka Sakazaki in the sleeper hold. So Raku comes down to the ring with a pillow, and while two of the wrestlers have each other in sleeper holds. So the crowd goes, "Oh!" as soon as the marshmallow theme hits. So we can sort of guess what's going to be next. So next Raku walks around the ring happily and stares at all of them. She makes the funniest facial expressions. She looks at Kiryu up close, then the other two players, Yuka Sakazaki and Suzume, almost as if she's inspecting them. Raku lays down her pillow carefully while the crowd chuckles. They just kind of laugh because she's taking her time setting her pillow up. And then she lays the pillow down next to Mahiro, Yuka, and Suzume and does her lullaby to make them go to sleep. The crowd claps along to Raku's singing. Yuka is resting on a pillow currently, and the other players have no pillow. Oyasumi Express. So Raku hits her Oyasumi Express move, goes around the ropes, and managed to go for a pinfall on all three wrestlers during this Battle Royale match. Everyone kicks out. However, Yuka Sakazaki still lays there. She's actually still asleep. Raku hastily rolls out of the ring, away from danger, in the cutest way possible. Yuka Sakazaki is actually still asleep at this point, and then occasionally during the match, some people, they'll just stop and stare and look at her, and they'll just be like, "What the heck?" And then also during the match, during some of the pauses, Yuka Sakazaki will begin to just talk to herself and say random stuff, and it's very audible. You can hear it on the stream, and the crowd can hear it too. She'll say some random things like, "Coda, your pink socks are so cute." Then the match takes a turn for a bit more serious technical wrestling. Yuka Sakazaki wakes up, and she does the Three Amigos suplex on Suzume. Mahiro grabs Yuka for a body slam, and then Yuka counters, does a body slam of her own. She goes for a magical girl. Yuka Sakazaki then gets up to go for a magical girl splash, while Mahiro Kiriya is down for a body slam. And then I guess Yuka Sakazaki just forgot that this was a battle royale. You can get pinned, but you can also go over the top rope. And Suzume's still in the ring. She really wasn't thinking here. So Suzume shakes off the three amigos. She jumps up, goes for a drop kick, and knocks Yuka Sakazaki out of the ring in a brutal elimination. There is some of the staff there, or wrestlers in t-shirts, so they kind of catch her to soften the blow a little bit, so it's not that bad. But Yuka Sakazaki has been eliminated by Suzume. So Suzume got an elimination there. The crowd is shocked, and everyone's just like sort of surprised that the former Princess or Princess Champion got eliminated at this point. If you're wondering who's the current champion in this storyline, I think Nao Kakta is actually the current champion. So Nao beats Yuka Sakazaki for the title. No. Nao beats Mitsuki for the title after Mitsuki beats it from Yuka, because Yuka's the champion right now in real life. This is fiction though. All right, so when Yuka gets that upset elimination from Suzume, at this point we see the camera get a shot of Neko Haruna wearing a mask outside working as ring staff. She's cheering on her tag team partner Suzume. Mei Suruga hasn't entered the ring yet. And then the match goes into a three-way striking contest or two-way striking contest. Let me see. It's Suzume Maida Kiryu. Yeah, because Yuka's eliminated. So it goes into a striking contest and then makes Suruga. Yeah, she enters the ring. Mei Suruga enters the ring. And then it goes into a three-way striking contest with Suzume. Mei Suruga runs to the ropes and goes for a crossbody, but Mahiro Kiryu kicks out immediately. Suzume then goes for a quick roll-up on Mahiro Kiryu. Out of nowhere, keep in mind that Suzume just eliminated Yuka. Suzume does a quick roll-up on Mahiro Kiryu for another shocking upset elimination. Everyone is shocked, and the commentators point out that Kiryu was eliminated easily, and they're also surprised because Mahiro Kiryu is the one who eliminated Maki Ito at the beginning for the biggest upset in the match so far. So we just thought it was going to be Mahiro Kiryu's time tonight. However, Suzume's got the momentum, so Suzume might just win this thing. But the odds are stacked against her because she has yet to tower Mei Suruga by pinfall or over the top rope victory. At least not yet. Eventually, Suzume does hit her ringer bell and managed to get Mei Suruga over the top rope, but she didn't get the pinfall victory. Mei Suruga then yells, Mata tatakao yo ne, which means we'll fight again sometime, right? Saki Akai helps Mei Suruga back to the backstage arena area. All right, in the final courses of the match, the four remaining combatants, Suzume, Yuki Arai, Hyper Masao, and Palm Harajuku. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're the four left in the ring. Hyper Masao will wear cat ears down to the ring to make fun of Neko or tease that she didn't get her spot in the show, or pay tribute, however you want to do it. She also hands out cat ears to everyone. In her promo, she starts her promo. She mentions that Neko didn't get in the ring because she hasn't been a good cat, but everyone else in the ring has been a good cat. Neko, she says. So because everyone's been a good cat, Hyper Masao says that she's going to be the cat superhero and she's going to give everyone cat ears so they can be their sidekicks. And everyone actually agrees to put on the cat ears and they do cat poses and the match resumes. Of course, some of them take their cat ears off, but some of the wrestlers actually have their cat paws. During this time, actually, is where Mei Suruga should have been eliminated. So let's pretend that Mei Suruga got eliminated at this point. And this will create a huge roar in the crowd. And it actually surprises me, RBD, because I thought people liked Mei Suruga, but, oh well. All right, so the final four or final three, I should say, are Hyper Masao, Yuki Arai, and Palm Harajuku. And Suzume. There we go. Suzume then gets a clothesline and gets tumbled over the rope. Hyper Masao then gets a lot of boos. She's the one who's eliminated Suzume. Everyone's really upset. Suzume, keep in mind, was not wearing cat ears or making fun of her friend, Neko Harada, or she just didn't want to participate. When Hyper Masao handed cat ears to Suzume, she just kind of waved her hands, shook her hands like, no, I don't want any part of this. So when Hyper Masao knocks Suzume over the ring, she instantly gets booed. Um, as far as Neko Haruna, nothing happens. Her partner lost, so she just puts she puts Suzume's arm over her shoulder and walks Suzume to backstage. So everything's normal, just normal match so far, right? Haruna Neko exercises patience. She's a little upset that her friend and tag team partners got eliminated, but the match still goes on. It continues. And the match has been going on for a very long time. We're up to almost 20, 30 minutes now. And the wrestlers are starting to be getting worn out. You can even see some fatigue in them. After one strike, some of the wrestlers begin to fall to the floor. They're very weakened, but the match will end. This is a good chance for somebody to go for pinfalls or easily throw them over the rope if you have energy to do it. In fact, at this point, the wrestlers are so worn out, you can just lay across them and win a match with a pinfall that easily. You don't even put much effort behind it because they beat the crap out of each other. This match was a banger. All right, so Palm is the only exception. Palm still has a ton of energy because Palm is Palm, right? So Palm is still in the ring with her cat gloves and her tail doing cat poses. Neko Haruna, kind of, you can see her walk to the back a little bit, but then you know she has a letter in hand and she looks pissed. Neko Haruna storms down to the ring or near the ring and hands Sarunaba a letter to read. While the match is going on, the wrestlers kind of pause and stare and just kind of look at Sarunaba, and then Namba-san reads the letter, which says that with the general manager's permission, Neko Harada has entered herself into the match and will be the last entry in the Battle Royale. Then Neko goes on a rampage. Neko will cat scratch all of the wrestlers that are in the ring and throw them over the top rope one by one, starting with Palm Harajuku. Palm is terrified. She's out. Yuki Arai looks really apologetic for wearing the cat gloves and doing the poses, but she gets cat scratched and she gets thrown over the top rope too. The crowd approves and is getting behind Neko Harada because they felt empathy for her. They felt bad the way she was treated this whole show, saying she's not even on it. That is just not right. They also are laughing because she's so angry, and the people are just shocked because it's not like her, it's out of character, and everyone is eliminated except for Hyper Masao. She's still in the ring. She's sneaky. She's clever. She's a veteran. She knows how to wrestle and avoid eliminations. Hyper Masao does her best, and she even sets Neko Harada up for a reverse DDT, which is one of her finishers. But it gets countered with a standing Neko breaker without the roll. Then Neko Harada pins Hyper Masao 1, 2, 3, and she becomes the inaugural Iron Princess Heavy Metalweight Champion. Everyone is just going nuts because they can't believe that Neko actually won a match, yet alone a title. She's like the first belt holder. She's the inaugural Iron Princess Heavy Metalweight Championship belt holder. It is a comedy belt, but still, for her to be the first champion, it just shocks the world. The internet goes nuts. Everybody's talking about on social media about this goofy or good match that TJPW had. Even Corny does a review on it. Jim Cornette is corny. All right, then after winning, she also scratches even the referee Kiso and even Sari Naba and everyone that's in her path. She's just completely on a rampage. She just goes berserk and just scratches everyone on the way. Ring announcer, she even threatens to scratch one of the fans, but she doesn't actually do it. Any Joshi Pro Wrestle workers out there that are being staffed with t-shirts, they get cat scratched. Everyone gets a cat scratch. So even though Neko is now the champion, she's pissed. She's still upset that they made fun of her and left her out of the show. So this sets Neko up for just be not a serious character all the time, but just show how strong she is and how she needs to be taken seriously on occasion when it comes down to winning the belt. So Neko will now have more important roles to play. She'll be the main attraction for many wrestling fans now, even though she's not in the main event. I apologize for that background noise. So because her costume is basically a cat maid, she'll also be popular with idol otaku. Oh my god. She'll also be popular with idol otaku and mainstream anime fans. So this is the perfect champion to have, especially for a comedy belt. And if you're wondering where I got the inspiration from, I got the inspiration from a video on Wrestle Universe. It's a similar situation where they kind of just they dress like a cat, and Neko doesn't approve it. I'm gonna I'm gonna call it Neko Haruna going on the rampage. Inspiration for tonight's Twitter Spaces. You can do a search on my Twitter profile. Just search for inspiration, and it'll probably come up. But guess what? We're not done. That's only how she becomes the inaugural champion. So next, there's some other things we can do here. We can have an Iron Princess match. That's what I would call it. Iron Princess match is basically a gimmick match for the Iron Princess Heavy Metalweight Championship. Since it's not going to be a 24/7 belt, at least not immediately, it can have some unique matches on its own. So we can come up with some unique, fun rules around that are not really seen in pro wrestling, since this is fantasy. One idea I have is that we have the wrestlers do an I Quit match. What makes an I Quit match special isn't just the wrestler giving up. It's actually the acting on the microphone, the drama, the comedy that goes along with it. TJPW has a very unique way of doing comedy. If you say give up or I quit on a microphone, you lose the belt. However, it can be done in a comedy way like Azusa Takigawa. For reference, here's Azusa Takigawa in a match. I'm going to post a link on my Twitter, and it's going to say, for reference, here's Azusa Takigawa in a match. In this match, she's going to express pain on the microphone in a comical way when she's wrestling against Nodoka Tema. And you can see that this actually would work pretty well because of the comedy aspect of it. You kind of have to see it. It's very hard for me to narrate this. I think there's one thing that would be needed. Since there's a lot of Japanese dialogue, you would need either English subtitles or English commentary to go along with it. It won't work that well on house shows. Unless you check Mr. Haku's Twitter, that might work, Haku Studios. But yeah, kind of need subtitles if you don't speak Japanese, because you will miss the fun part. I'm going to post all of that on Twitter like right now. It'll be at the top of my profile page, so please be sure to give me a follow on Twitter so you can follow along with the story. All right. 24/7 rule. This is how I would introduce the 24/7 rule to the Iron Princess Heavy Metalweight Championship belt. I'll just call it the Iron Princess belt. So, as you know, it'll only be defended if the champion and challenger mutually agree on a match type or setting. Otherwise, it'll just be scheduled on the card like a normal belt. You may be wondering, does this mean the Iron Princess Heavy Middleweight Championship belt becomes an open challenge belt? And then the belt has to be defended 24/7, but only for that current person holding the belt. Yes, because if the person that holds the belt wants to defend it 24/7, then it'll work that way. They can make an open challenge. They just need to make sure that both the belt holder and opponent mutually agree on a match. The fans would expect it to be 24/7 permanently if we don't do something like that, because it gets kind of stale. So anyway, I have a solution. We'll make someone or Sorinabe announce that the Iron Princess Heavy Middleweight Championship will be under 24/7 rules for a limited amount of time. That way, people won't expect it to be permanent if one belt holder wants to have a permanent 24/7 rule. It gets too confusing, and it'll let people down too. All right, so we can have an official timer on like the Wrestle Universe website or internet for free somewhere, so that people can go there and keep track of the time and how long it can take you. This will create a start and end point for the 24/7 rules, so it doesn't become too boring and predictable. So that means, like, we can say during the summer we can call it an Iron Princess marathon match. It can basically be considered one match where the title can change hands multiple times during the summer. You can start the timer like in June and end it in August or something like that. That'd be pretty cool because then it'll be limited. If you just do it the whole year round, it gets kind of boring. And then they can do like another. They did a midwinter pool wrestling last year. They could do like a summer pool wrestling, and then during that summer pool wrestling, the Iron Princess Heavy Middleweight Championship belt can be defended during the summer pool match. That is a lot to take in, but in other words, I'll just say it a little bit easier. This means that with the Heavy Middleweight Championship, that belt can be defended in a pool match during the summer. That's basically the idea. So if and when we do implement the 24/7 rule, you can have the wrestlers make verbal agreements that they promise they won't try to take each other's Iron Princess belt. In other words, they'll say things like, it's okay to trust me. Even though you're the belt holder, I won't touch you. This gives a chance to have betrayals and tease betrayals and have dynamics. They can have a lot of psychology in and outside the ring. It basically will keep all the fans engaged. It'll add some layers to the way that wrestlers interact with each other on screen. Because, like, you don't know if Rika's going to turn on Mitsuki and try to take Mitsuki's Iron Princess belt or not. Mitsuki says she promises not to, and then inevitably she does stab her in the back. Or Mitsuki chokes somebody for taking Mitsuki. Rika Tasumi chokes someone for beating Mitsuki up and taking the belt off Mitsuki. So Rika can get mad, something like that. You can do all kind of stuff. And so, like, the rapid title changes, I would just leave the chaos in the summer for like a limited amount of time. Because if you have it all year, it'd get kind of boring. And if it were me, I'd probably stop watching too, or at least those matches. It would get kind of stale. Like the old Iron Man belt, the way they used to do it, it was too much. You can still have those rapid title changes, but it should be like a limit to it. And so, like, if you are watching TJPW every day for like months on end for years, you'll look forward to the summer every year too. So anyway, I think the Iron Princess Heavy Middleweight Championship belt is another tool that will set TJPW apart from all other wrestling companies in hopes of bringing more people and entertain us for months and years on end, probably forever. I think I was afraid to say the word forever, but I think TJPW will be here forever. So let me know what you all think. If anybody wants to jump in and get on the microphone and talk, feel free. If not, I'll go ahead and end the Twitter Spaces. Okay, thank you for coming, and this has been a TJPW Storytime. I do apologize for the background noise. I hope that didn't pick up too well, but you can still hear the audio and you know what's going on. So have a great day.